How or when do you get an investor in your business?
Ooh, what are you trying to raise money for?
So this is fun, Jen. See, we're gonna workshop it with you.
Yep, yep. That's how we do things here. What are we trying to raise money for?
My new biz is growing faster than I thought.
Okay,
Okay.
so how much are we looking to raise, and what are we using the money for? That helps dictate what we're going to be, who we're going to, and when, and all that stuff. So how much are we looking to raise, and what is the money being used for?
That's what I need help with. I don't know how much I should raise. Money would be used for inventory and general business expenses such as my VA, etc. I need to focus on creating offers, aka marketing and driving sales. That's what I'm good at, and and deal with my last jewelry company, which was B2B, business to business. Now I'm B2C, so I have different costs and new challenges.
I'm curious about what was the B2B jewelry company? What kind of jewelry were you selling B2B?
Mm,
That's interesting.
there you go.
Um,
He
I mean,
wants
that's not
more
an answer.
detail.
That's just more. I'm curious. That's interesting. You don't think of jewelry as a B2B play. I mean, maybe giving people awards, like you win a necklace for being the top salesperson in the company, or that's what comes to mind. But I don't know what she was doing. Um, well, ballpark it. Like, are we talking about $5,000? We talking about $25,000? We talking about
50.
$100,000? What are we thinking here?
So she said, I sold jewelry to luxury resorts and boutiques, not direct to customers.
Ah, okay,
Wholesale jewelry.
right. I like it.
So that was B2B. But now she's selling straight to the customer. And it's a different cost and new
Ooh.
challenges.
Yeah. So what? Wow, we're getting
And
destroyed here
and,
in the
and,
bio.
and as far as the raising of the capital,
Yeah.
10 to 20 grand, 10 to 20K.
Okay. So this is ongoing problem for a lot of entrepreneurs, right? You're undercapitalized, right? You don't have enough money for growth. It's super typical. 10 to 20K range. The best thing you could do if it's just funding inventory is some form of debt.
Yep.
Because you're going to get that money back pretty quickly because you're funding orders. The best money to raise is for expansion, marketing, but especially for orders. It's not like, oh, I'm going to hire somebody and try to make something work. It's like, no, no, no. I have orders coming in and I can't actually make them enough because I need to go buy supplies, right? So debt is your first option. This is your best option. You could do equity. You're probably giving up a big chunk of the company, and you really want to make sure you're bringing in the right person. I need to get into valuation and everything else. We can go that road if you're really looking for a partner in your company. But debt, if it's a new business, it's personal debt. If it's an extension of your old business, your B2B business, you might qualify for business loans. But debt is your fastest way. And honestly, what I would do is try to make it as like just fund the inventory. I don't know what your profit margins look like on it. Hopefully they're decent. So you just fund the inventory with the debt, you pay it off, and then you use the profits to go do the next whatever. Whether that's hire somebody or whatever your marketing looks like or whatever else you're looking at raising capital for besides inventory. But inventory is a great thing to raise for, and ideally it's debt. Whew. You're getting poked out like crazy here.
So she's saying debt like credit card?
No, debt
No,
like
no.
I mean, well, listen. So I made a video on credit cards that's gonna come to the channel soon. But what I would look at for credit cards can be great if you're gonna pay them back within the month. Like the first time I had a credit card, I got my credit card. I felt like an adult. You know, like I got a credit card. Oh my God, I'm grown up. This is great. And then I got my first bill, and it said, "Here's how much you owe," and then here's the minimum payment. It's like, wait a minute, I don't have to pay the whole thing. I just have to pay the minimum. This is great. And then I saw my bill the next month and saw this giant interest rate on top of what I didn't pay, and asked my parents, what happened here? It said I only had to pay a minimum. I paid it. Why am I getting charged this extra fee? Like, well, because, you know, I guess you guys all know, but we make these mistakes at the beginning. But if you can pay off your debt within a month, then credit cards are great. Credit cards are fantastic because you already have one. You've already qualified for it. You're already you don't have to go and, you know, apply to the bank or anything new. You've already got it. So that's a great first step. If you can pay it back within the month, then it's probably your best option, to be honest. It's great. After that, line of credit is great because you can pay that back when you want. If you go to more term loans where you're on a schedule, think of like a mortgage is basically a term loan. Where you have a payment schedule, and if you want to change the payment schedule, there's penalties attached to it. But for all of those, you have to basically apply for them. So that's the first question. 10 to 20,000. I don't know if you have enough. I don't know if you have that kind of clearance on your credit card. But again, can you phase it out? Does it have to be all at once, or can you get 4,000 right now just to fund the next round of purchases? The other thing you can do is try to get it from your customers. That's my favorite. Like, can you get pre-orders? Say, order this, and it'll come. This is a special limited edition, tough as a mother, XYZ, whatever you're selling. And they pre-order it, and it comes, you know, in a month. Right? That's the best. Are any of those solutions feasible?
Yeah, I was going to ask, like, what our typical velocity is. Like, how quickly... Like, does an order come in? Does it take you to turn around and actually ship out the order? Because, like, one of the things that I did... Oh, hello. That would be a Sivir. One of the things that I did is... So I had an Amex that I would fund my inventory with. I think I had, like, a $20,000 limit on it. And basically, whenever I did... this was back when I was doing retail arbitrage, so like I kind of knew how much I could purchase and how quickly things would turn. So I was able to basically set it up so that every 2 weeks when Amazon would pay out their thing, I would be able to pay off the credit card in full and, you know, have whatever leftover profit sit in the bank account. So that was just my cycle of... Every 2 weeks, I would go in, I'd get another round of inventory that should last, you know, a month. And by the time the, like that first payment from Amazon 2 weeks later would be enough to pay off the credit card. So basically gave me a full 30 days worth of float.
Yeah.
So,
and lots of people do that, right? Lots of entrepreneurs fund off credit card. And again, it's the easiest and can be the best as long as you can pay it off
in full
every month. That's the huge caveat, because otherwise, if you can't, then it's definitely not worth, because you're paying ridiculous interest rates.
it's funny because Spike Lee, the famous director, that's how he made his first movie off of credit cards.
Yeah.
So, so the answer your two questions. Number one, jury margins are huge, and she said yes, thanks, it does help, and the turnaround is 1 to 2 days. And you talk about raising standards. She's like, I'm going to be like Sarah Blakey. That's my goal.
Blakely, I think. But
Blakely,
yeah, she's great.
Yeah.
I mean, and all of the things that we've done a whole bunch of videos on her. And one of my favorite lessons from Sarah Blakely is her father would be upset at her if she didn't have something to share of how she failed today. So at the dining room table, they would always ask, "How did you fail today? What did you do that you failed at today?" And she'd have to come up with something every day that she failed at. And they celebrated those failures. So she was just kind of used to failing and just moving on and keep going, where most people are stuck. being too afraid
You know,
to
that's
take
a.
action.
She said, "Yes, I studied her." What? Give me the train of thought on that, because I've heard two sides. I heard one is that yes, you learn from your failures, but you should talk about your celebrations for momentum. What's the train? What's the school of thought on both sides of that?
Most people are just so afraid of failing that they don't try. So they're celebrating the fact that you tried.
Okay. So it doesn't put people in, because I mean, some of the things I've heard about that is it could put people in the wrong headspace where they only want to try anymore because they're talking about how they fail, as opposed to celebrating small wins that gives them the courage and the encouragement to continue on.
I mean, I think with all of it, it's how you perceive it.
Yeah, I think so too.
But the intent behind it was I want to have, my daughter go out there and not be afraid to fail and not be afraid of judgment and to just go off and try stuff.
And it worked for her.
Yeah, and her husband too. Same thing of like, I'm just gonna go and try it. He's great too, Jesse Itzler. If you guys don't know him.
My dad always said, "I look good in a potato sack." So I had inflated confidence my whole life, and my three brothers never talked down to me. So I'm basically saying, is a male has impact on raising females. Evan, can I post the YouTube video I made with Movement Makers? I edited it. I edited it so it's just a few parts and not the entire 90 minutes. I edited it to about 2 minutes.
Yeah, that's fine. Go for it.
Yeah.